All right. So we're gonna get to. Please hit that like button, guys. I definitely appreciate that. We're gonna get to this Mr. Goodbread breakdown. Now, this Cardi B video led to you know um Mr. Goodbread did a stream on Saturday, breaking down the Cardi B video, which it was a good stream, definitely a good stream. But he had a panel section. He put everyone on the show, and we had one guest on there who was a very intellectual young woman, very intellectual young woman. Now, before I get started, this is not an attack. It is not it's not trying to beef or anything. I'm not trying to shame this young woman right here. I'm just using her as a breakdown, as an example for young men that sometimes dealing with a woman who is loud and doesn't know how to speak in a conversation can really turn you off from even listening to her, because I could not sit through that stream. I couldn't sit through that stream. The more she talked, I had to. Man, it was very annoying to listen to, and even if she's right, because the woman on the show was right the whole time. There was nothing that was really. I mean, that's not say the whole time, but there was nothing that was you can really debate, and she will be wrong on. You know what I'm saying? But man, she was so damn loud and so interruptive. It was so annoying. I could not sit there and watch that. And so you was on the show, Zone. You was on that show. Man, and she really ruined the flow of the conversation, because and this is why I don't like doing the panel stuff, because I did not like that Lapeef Network show. I hated that. I hated that show, because all it was just people arguing all the time about everything. And when you deal with a woman like that wants to just argue about everything and don't even let one side lets out the argument, don't even let one side lets out the full statement, and then they want to interrupt and want to be loud, man. When it comes from a woman, that is not, man, that's not good. That's oh man. Okay, so let me set that up, man. Yeah, that Jesus Christ. And again, this is not an attack on this. This is not an attack on that young woman right here. This is not an attack on her. If she wants to do it, if she catches wind of this and then she wants to do a response video and attack me 1,000 times and call me what's it called, misogynist and all that type of stuff, I'm not gonna respond. This is not me trying to attack her. Shit, if you guys find her page, you go subscribe and check her out, because again, she had some great points on the show. It's just that, man, I couldn't stand her. I could not stand her. All right, let's play. Again, this is from the Mr. Goodbread show. Hold on, let me get that on there. She ain't gonna do no video. Okay, okay. I'm just saying, I don't want to start no argument, man. I didn't want to start no argument and start no beef or anything like that, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't want to make this no emotional, like, oh man, this guy hates. No, I was like, bro, because this is a difference between listening to somebody like her and listening to somebody like Pearl. Because yeah, Pearl is cringy. Because I don't like Pearl neither, but Pearl is cringy. But I can sit and listen to Pearl because she's not loud and boisterous, and she's not interruptive, and she gives all her points and tries to control the show and makes it a more manageable show. Man, let's play this, man. This woman ruined the flow of the show and ruined the flow, in my opinion, ruined the flow of the topic, because y'all was not talking about the topic after a while. Y'all were just talking about some other stuff. And I'm like, what's this have to do with what Cardi B had to say? What did multiple women have to do with Cardi B had to say, man? Let's watch this.
Every single day, right? Mm-hmm. So your mom and dad used to work every single day, so your mom could save her money and buy purses, and your dad just paid the bills. That's not how it works. This is your mom was in the house cooking and cleaning every day. Your dad was working or they was both working to pay both the bills. Like y'all be acting like y'all don't know what it is like no more. Like, come on.
And your mom money was your dad money, and your dad money was your mom money.
Like, it was like like it's like that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not a feminist anymore because it's like sometimes it's like we live in the real world.
Right.
Y'all not living there.
Y'all be talking about my money is my money and his money is my money.
I mean, my money is my money, his money is my money. My money is my money. Like, my money is my money and his money is his money. But it's like, but you know, like it's like we both spend money on each other and everything. And it's like if we want to go and everything, it's like, all right, like if we're gonna buy a house, like let's go half and half. And I feel like it's very controversial when like
you heard a lie.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on that one?
So she's not necessarily wrong because if the man is paying for unless he's rich, right? If the man is paying for everything and the woman isn't paying for anything, how is the man supposed to save up to get a house? They should be working together. Now, biblically, is the man commanded to provide? Yes. Is a wife commanded to work? No, she's not. But it's not a sin for a woman to work. That's up to her. Me, in my opinion, a woman, if she got any sense, she should want to work and can help that man. Because if a woman really loves you, she's not gonna sit there and let you carry on or everything on your own, even if that's a part of the duties that you took on in terms of being a husband. So I think it's unrealistic to sit there and you want a man to pay for everything and you do nothing. And I want to say this because I just had this discussion with somebody yesterday. Cooking your own meals is not a job. Cleaning your own house is not a job. Raising your own kids is not a job, because I'm hearing women say, I cook, I clean, I raise the kids. It's a job. No, it's not. It's a responsibility. Why would you get paid to raise your own kids or cook your own meals or clean your own house? I'm cleaning literally right now. Whenever I cook or clean, I don't feel like I should get compensated to maintain my own home and maintain my own life as an adult.
You're right, though. I'm glad you said that because we just did a video upstairs.
I get so tired of hearing women say
see, hold up. This is where she lost me right there. So she was doing good in the beginning. She gave her points. She gave her to tell her points. Nobody interrupted, right? Gave her points. We were able to listen to. You may not have agreed with her points. Now, I agree with most of her points. She wasn't wrong of what she said. But as soon as Mr. Goodbread started talking, right, she interrupted him. And then she kept going.
Clean. Wouldn't you do those same things if you were single? I just did laundry. I'm literally cleaning right now. Whole bathroom smell like straight up Ajax. Why
but are you doing it for a man though?
And so that's where she lost me right there. When Mr. Goodbread was about to speak and give what he's about to say, she interrupted him. And that's the problem with dealing with these type of women right here. Again, this is not attacking this creator, because this could be any type of woman that you're speaking with, because she was right in what she was talking about, but her attitude was terrible. So when you're talking to this type of woman, even when you get to a discussion and the woman is right, it's going to be nothing but struggle. It's going to be nothing but constant arguments. It's going to be nothing but constant embarrassment. How are you going to marry this type of woman? How are you going to date this type of woman and deal with this type of woman? Now, I'm not sure her marital status. Maybe she got a whole husband at home. But man, dealing with this type of woman that will come through and this was loud, first of all, because she was a little loud, but okay. She was getting her point across. We asked for her opinion. She was getting her point across. Cool. But then when she interrupts, oh man, nah, that's the worst. That is the worst. Some women don't understand how important that is. That men that you do not interrupt. Well, you don't interrupt anybody that's talking when you're in a discussion. But when you don't interrupt a man that's talking, because you don't know how a man gonna be thinking that day. You don't know how a man gonna be feeling that day. Again, these women want to talk about men are emotional. Y'all gotta think that way. Because if a man is emotional, what he gonna do? He gonna raise his hands. you stop this man from talking. He gonna raise his hands. But unfortunately, when women are loud and interruptive, they don't realize this. They think they're getting their point across, and you're gonna hear me, man. And it gets worse. It gets worse, guys. It gets worse.
I'm doing it for myself. But even if I'm in a
Right.
relationship, if I'm cooking, this is the thing, right? If I was in a relationship, what would change? The only thing is I would probably clean. Well, I mean, I keep a clean house. I'm always cleaning. But the thing is, if I was in a relationship, I would probably cook a little bit more because I'm feeding 2 people, or
And then she also changed the flow of the conversation. We're talking about 50-50. Now I get no, don't get me wrong. I get her going on a tangent because the cooking and cleaning tangent was cool. I got that. But then she want to keep dragging that. And now we're talking about her situation. She's doing that. It's weird because she's doing the opposite of what these other women, the other women do in their podcast. When you talk about other women, they're talking about, oh, it's not me. Now I know the Bell addressed her, what are you doing for a man? But then she was talking about, but then when she started, when she went on a tangent, then she talking about, well, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. I'm like, okay, all right. Now the flow is changing, the cooking and cleaning. All right, okay. All right, you're changing the flow of the conversation. Let me get back to the split of the 50. What Cardi B said, you gave what you said. Mr. Goodbread was going to move on with the topic, but now we're talking about you, man. Come on. And look, guys, again, this is not me attacking the creator. This is not me attacking her right now, but I'm using her as an example of what the type of women you have to deal with, no matter if she's right or wrong. Now, if she's right, it's even worse because now they have a righteousness to them, and you have to listen to her because you know she's right. You can't just argue with her because she's right. You're gonna look like a fool. That's why when I came on the stream, I didn't say nothing. I was quiet because a lot of stuff she said she was right. If I was trying to argue with her, I was gonna look like a fool. But I couldn't deal with her. I didn't want to talk with her because I already knew she was gonna interrupt anything I try to say, any type of rebuttal, anything. I'm like, bruh.
I have to pick up after him as well. But my thing is, nothing really changes. So if I'm cooking, if I decide to be in a relationship, especially we're going to talk about marriage, if I take on the duties of being a wife, if I'm cooking and cleaning, why should he pay me for that? Wasn't I doing that when I was single?
Because that's how most modern women think they should be compensated for the things they do.
But that's like a man saying, well, I'm taking on the responsibility of protecting you. Pay me, because technically I'm a bodyguard. Women would look at that man like he done lost his mind.
That's crazy.
Imagine they're saying, I'm protecting you, right? If we wasn't together.
There you go again. See, look, Mr. Goodbread was going to change. He was going to change not necessarily. He was going to change the topic pretty much. Get back on track. She interrupted. How are you going to deal with this type of woman, guys? And this is being around. See, you don't realize this type of woman right here that could lead you to be in some danger in public if you're hanging around her. Women don't realize how unpleasant they can be to the point it can be actually dangerous. But this is the internet. We're on the internet. We're talking on the internet. So we could talk how we kind of want to talk on the internet, and that's fine. But again, Mr. Goodbread was about to go back on topic. I think he sounded like he was about to get the zone. He was about to get back on topic. Interruption. And let's continue.
You be paying a bodyguard, right? So
that's a fact, though. That's a fact. I agree. I 100% agree.
Don't get me wrong. We're not gonna agree on everything, and we don't have to. I live my life the way I want to. Y'all live your life the way I want to each their own.
Ain't that what most men do though? Put their life on the line for a female?
A female he cares about, yeah. But should he be financially compensated for it? No. And women would look at him like he's crazy if he said it. What my whole point is, even though we will have differences of opinion, I have no problem calling out wrong. And when I hear women say stuff like that, they sound crazy. You want this man to pay you to take care of kids you chose to birth? You no kids. You chose to give him babies. Why would you be financially compensated to take care of your own children?
Because the kids take care of her with the bread that she gets for having them.
That's a fact. I wish you could.
But I'm not.
I wish you could speak up for in child support. I wish you could come at child support for us with that argument right there, La.
Who said you can't?
La,
no,
you got it.
I'm talking about like people who aren't thinking like that. You know what I'm saying? Like if I was to choose if I was to get married and have a child, why would I expect my husband to pay me to take care of the child that I chose to give him?
See, it'll be a million bitches mad at you for rolling with us down the child support, saying that right there. Because that's the same thing as these chicks having babies with niggas that they knew didn't have it, had they shit together, and now they got niggas all on child support fucking up the world.
Now, most women, right? Because I know, don't get me wrong, I get on men too, because a lot of men want a virtuous woman, but you're a whoremonger. A lot of men want a virtuous woman, but you're not.
And then this one, she lost me all the way, guys. All right. I get it. we know that men have problems. We hear this all the time. We know what the wrong thing that men does. Now she want to switch it on to the men. At this point, we're not even talking about. She already went to a whole tangent about how women don't want to cook and clean and they think it's a job. Okay, cool. Now we're on another tangent about the men, the whoremongers. They want. All right. Like, okay, we get it. We know this. But the thing that I really did not like is when she tried to switch everything that y'all was talking about and switched it back on the men. I'm like, this is not even the video for this. Like, when Mr. Gerber has a Let's Bash on Men video, please, by all means, get on it and we can hear it all day. But every time y'all try to move on with the conversation, she kept switching it back on what's the men's problem is. And look, we know men have problems. We know men have the problems. But at the same time, stay on topic. You can't just you can't. I don't even like. And this one, and I don't even like the whole when we're talking about these young men that get in trouble. I don't even like the who raised them argument, because that means we're trying to switch it back. Like, because these young men made these decisions, no matter if they're raised by single mothers or not, they still made the decisions to do bad or whatnot. So I don't even like the whole who raised them argument. But the whole every time you try to switch the topic, it was always going back to, okay, what's the men problem? What the men problem is. We know what the men problem is. This is why we speak this. This is honestly why this is honestly why I'm showing young men this type of women. Because a lot of men's problem is y'all deal with these type of women who act all boisterous, and they put you into troubles and situations that you weren't even going to be in if you were single by yourself. So you deal with the woman like this that wants just bringing back onto the men, just want to bring the blame back on the men when you're not even on that topic. So she lost me on this. Let's continue.
Faithful. You want to commit adultery, and you want to have a woman at home cooking and cleaning. So when you come home from a long day getting your dick sucked by another woman, you can relax. And I get on men too. So I don't want nobody saying, "Oh, I don't stick up for nobody. I stick up for whatever I feel is right." I get on men ass when men be out here having kids by these birds, and then you want to like you have men that will literally have a baby by a bird and then talk about something more feminine fit in front of me. But
do you say simp? Do you say the word simp?
Yes, I say simp. I say baby. All that.
Let me explain that for you, right? I get what you're saying about the men having multiple women, right?
Well, multiple women, go ahead, because I already know where you're going.
Right, but what you got to remember is it becomes adultery because men in this era are forced to lie about the shit. We're forced to lie about it because of the way the men.
Bible, I don't know if you believe in the Bible or not, but I do.
No, and I know where you're going with the Bible.
Or not, adultery is adultery. If you got married, it is one man and one woman. If you are laying with any woman other than your wife, you are committing adultery. You being honest about being adulterous doesn't make it any less adulterous. Adultery, that's like if I kill somebody and I'm honest about the fact that I killed them, I'm still a murderer.
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is if a man has multiple women, right, under the context that he has multiple wives, what's supposed to happen? That's polygamy.
That's against the Bible.
No, it's not.
It's not against the Bible.
Yes,
Come on,
listen.
No, it's not.
Again, she is interrupting this man and getting everything out there. when you deal with a woman like that, they just like to interrupt, don't like to let the person finish the statement. You're dealing with a woman that's low key angry. Now imagine you taking this woman out on a date and she argues with the wrong man. You're gonna have to step in and try to fight this dude. Are you ready to die for this woman? That's the question you're gonna have to ask yourself. Are you ready to die for this woman who is argumentative? Now, again, there's nothing wrong with what she said. I'm not doubting her knowledge about what she said about men, but this was not the time and place for this. She want to go on a rant. That's why I kind of want. That's why Loki don't go on Mr. Goodbread show because I had to go on rants myself. But I recognize this, so I'm trying to work on that. But this lady's going on a whole full blown rant about what the men are doing. We're not even talking about men or women on this in this video. This video is about splitting the bills. Now, how do we talk about what the men are doing and what the women are doing? Well, how did we get to that? Like she's changing the flow of the conversation to rant. And unfortunately, she may be right. Unfortunately, when you deal with these type of women who are actually kind of angry, this is the type of woman right here who is like the men when you first get the red pill rage. When you first get the red pill and you get the red pill rage, this is how you're like. This is how we're like. I was like this. Mr. Gerber was like this. We're all like this. We're all like this. So I'm not even trying to come down on her personally like that. But when you deal with the woman that has the red pill rage, you don't know how she's going to be when it comes to men in the streets. Because this whole red pill is not about, it's about women nature. And women are emotional. And when women are emotional, they take things to a different level that is not supposed to be. Now, again, she is not wrong with anything she said in that rant. But what was the point of that rant? She went on a whole tangent. Her whole thing, when she was supposed to just break down this video, was okay, she did the breakdown. And then, okay, cooking and cleaning. Okay, and then men now are whoremongers. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? Let's continue.
Women always get triggered. Women always get triggered.
It's not against the Bible, Don't say that, Don't say that.
Mr. Goodbread, you were the same one that kept saying we're supposed to be together and did not send you an article with tons of scriptures that proved you wrong.
Yes.
Thank you.
But,
so if I'm saying it, I'm not saying it for no.
And see, look, here's the difference between how, and this is the difference between how Mr. Goodbread acted with this woman right here, La Original, and with Femi from the chat. When Femi from the chat was all the way wrong, Mr. Goodbread did not lose a step of ground. He just kept pushing and pushing, and he did not lose a step of ground. But when he realized with this lady, La Original was right, Mr. Goodbread, he was like, okay, yeah, I concede because she was right and she gave me evidence. Again, this woman is not she's not wrong with anything she says, and she can back what she says with facts and data and statistics. The problem is the attitude. That's the problem. The attitude is everything. It's everything. And it's everything, guys. I'm telling you guys the truth. Because that could mean a good day or the end of your life. It depends on the woman. And why she's giving facts and knowledge that some men you might have to learn from. The way she speaks and the way she acts is a huge turn off. Because men don't like loud women. I'm sorry to say, we don't like loud women. And the reason why a woman like Pearl, who is plain Jane, can still get the attention and people try to say she was being crowned the queen of the red pill, is because the way she acts and the way she speaks. She don't speak like a man she don't speak like Kevin Samuels or like Fresh and Fit. She speaks like a woman, a regular down to earth woman that speaks for men. That's the difference. or the difference between this woman, La Original, and Lessons of a Housewife. Shout out to Lessons of a Housewife. She speaks to men like she's a woman, but she's speaking to women like this woman is speaking to men like she's a man. That's unattractive. That's unattractive. That's not the best way to deal that's not the to attract and deal with men. Now she can say she don't want to attract men, that's fine. But man, you're gonna attract men no matter what. Men, we like you know what I'm saying? And if she looks good, I didn't really see her picture. Now if she looks moderately good, some men are gonna come and attract. She gotta know how to deal with those type of men when she's speaking to them, so they won't try to harm her. That's what I'm saying. I'm I'm gonna say she's wrong. Fuck it. Yeah, right. Look, me personally, I would see that's why I didn't jump in because I personally, I don't say men should get multiple women because multiple women's gonna be dangerous on you. You know, they might gang up on you in the background. She might gang up on you in the background. You know, you never know. So you gotta watch out for multiple women. But it was in the Bible, so I could not, you know what I'm saying, I could not fight that. I'm not much of a Bible reader, so I didn't have the clues nor the know wherewithal to combat that. Say she is pretty, I'll give her that. Okay, yeah. So women don't realize the way they speak. They want to talk about men the way we speak, but they don't even think about the way they speak to men. You feel me? Like when you're interruptive, you don't let the man speak his piece, or you're condescending, or you attack, you're aggressive, and that's not attractive to the man. You never know how the man's going to react, especially today when the men are more emotional than ever before. They're more emotional than ever before. Is that women don't think that their femininity is power. They think it's weakness. No, your femininity can do a lot if you know how to use it correctly. I like to use the Incredible Hulk as an example of how the Hulk is somehow stronger than missiles and tanks and nukes. But as soon as Betty comes and grabs his hand and says it's okay, he goes back to Bruce Banner and relaxes. Women don't think oh no. They want to be like men so much they don't think of the power that they really have. It's weird. Let's continue.
Not gonna prove me wrong on this right here.
Yes, I am.
And I'm
how?
not.
How? All right, send me that lie. Send me that lie. Send me that.
Listen, what I'm saying is not polygamy. Polygamy is when you have multiple wives in different houses because the religion of Islam allows you to practice polygamy. Right? Let me
Again,
explain. I
interrupting.
understand that you're a woman and you still have estrogen. Try not to get triggered.
It has nothing to do with estrogen. I'm more logical.
It has a lot to do with it because you won't even let me explain it.
No, it
You
doesn't.
won't even let me explain it because you don't know where I'm going because men are not allowed to talk about
that's
it.
fine. That's fine. But saying, "Oh, you're a woman and you have estrogen," that has nothing to do.
See, now she's changing. Oh my god, now she's changing the argument. And I get what you're trying to say. Oh, not change, but ma'am, you must be running on estrogen, or because you're interrupting this man. He's not even finished his point. How can you argue what this man's talking about? He didn't even finish his point. That's what I'm talking about. When a woman does this stuff, it's annoying. Now imagine if you're dating this woman. You got to hear this. You're trying to get your point across, but she interrupts you all the time, and then you can't even get your point across. And then when something happens to the house, you try to be like, "I tried to tell you, dear, but wouldn't let me talk." She goes, "Why didn't you say anything?" "I tried to. You didn't let me talk." You kept interrupting me. Now again, I am not. Again, I want to repeat this. I'm not trying to attack this woman because it's not about her. I'm just using her as an example of the women today, of how it's going to be with the women today. You're going to deal with, even when they're right, they're loud, they're boisterous, man. And this is the type of woman that they expect you to get married to. And there's nothing wrong. There was nothing. Again, there was nothing wrong with her speech, but there was something wrong with her delivery and her attitude. And then changing the conversation, man. It just ruined it. It just ruined the fool of the show. This is why. You see me sitting here quiet. I ain't saying a word. I'm just like, man, this is annoying. Play.
To do with it, I'm very logical. I'm a very logical person.
Okay, so let me give my logical. Allow me to give my logical.
I'm just letting you know, just don't do it.
What I'm saying is how it's supposed to work is you're supposed to, and again, it depends on everybody's situation because everybody's situation is different. What you're supposed to do is have more than one wife in the same house. So that way, if you have multiple children, because what happens now? Both parents have to work. You don't have anybody to take care of the kids. Now weird stuff happens when you take them to these weird old schools. If you had one in the house, one or two working, now you can establish, generational wealth. Because generational wealth is not for the people in the generation. It's for the following generation. But we don't have a system that allows us to set that up. And just because someone's your wife doesn't mean that you're having sex with them. That's the part that gets...
Mr. Goodbread, can I ask you a question real quick?
Yeah.
In the Bible, how many brides, because God has a bride, how many brides does God have in the Bible?
But God don't have no brides.
And according to scripture, right? I think you're misunderstanding. According to scripture, God has a bride. Do you know what that bride is?
The church.
Exactly. How many brides does God have according to scripture?
There's so many churches running around out here now.
This is what I'm saying. I'm not talking about a physical church. According to the Bible, there is one church, right? That is all the believers, right? According to the Bible, God has a bride. One bride. That bride is the church. Not all of these physical buildings. It's one bride. According to scripture, God has one bride. So you're telling me God got one bride, but everybody else can have more than one? Why would God allow you to have more than what he has?
For the reason why he gave us life and he died. For the same reason why he gave us life and he died. You can't question that, man. You can't question that man's reasoning. You know the scripture.
Man, this whole conversation was pointless, in my opinion, because it doesn't matter in today's age, the way these modern women are acting, first of all. And then second of all, this whole conversation is pointless because she just wanted to make an example of why it's bad that men deal with multiple women and deal with their biological imperative of sleeping around with multiple women. That's all. Like, she just wanted to bring it back on the men. And this was not even the conversation for that. Again, this whole started with just her breakdown of the Cardi B 50-50 split. Then she went down on a rabbit hole. To now we're talking about multiple men, men with being polygamous, having multiple women. Again, when you deal with women like this, there's not going to be no what am I trying to say? There's not going to be not conclusion, not the term, not conclusion. There's not going to be no ideas passed. There's not going to be no conversation passed. There's not going to be no purpose to this conversation. You're just going to go down a whole bunch of rabbit holes and you're not going to get nothing at the end. When you deal with a woman like this, not even this conversation, I'm just talking about in dating, in relationships, and just being around her. A woman with this type of attitude that would just go down a whole different rabbit hole just to bring it back on the men, it's always going to bring it back on you as a man if you deal with her in a relationship type of aspect. And I'm not even talking about just dating, and I'm not even talking about marriage, because she can also be a female friend and still put you in this type of situation. Bringing everything responsibility back on you, and then she might put it on some random men, and then guess who's going to be in the grave? Guess who's going to have to stand and fight for this woman, arguing with another man just because he said, some men can, you know what I'm saying? Some men can have multiple wives or whatever.
That tells us,
yeah, but La Original,
she's coming from the
She coming from the New Testament though. Like that's the problem.
If
is
you
that
if you
we
don't now if you don't believe in the New Testament, that's fine. But
I didn't say that.
Right?
I'm just saying the problem with us though now in these times is we act like it wasn't the Old Testament first and then the New Testament.
Clearly, it was the Old Testament first. Old is there before the New.
All right, Joe, I like you. I thank you for pointing that out. Cause you didn't know that I don't fuck with the New Testament, bro. I don't do that. We Old Testament over here.
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't know that you don't mess with the New Testament. Otherwise, we would have never had this conversation.
Yeah, we Old Testament.
Because when we speak about the Bible is the Old and the New Testament. So what you believe in is what would be called what Jews would call the Torah, because Jewish people don't believe in the New Testament. They only believe in the Old. So if y'all, I don't know if all of y'all feel that way, but if you only believe in the Old Testament, then I already know certain topics just not to have a discussion because we're not going to get nowhere. I was unaware of that.
Yeah,
I think we
the real Jews, though, right? We the real Jews.
I think you just have to use it with discernment. I think what the problem is that, you know what I'm saying, you gotta, like, there are certain things in the Old Testament that I certainly would not apply to today when it comes to the physical treatment of women, like you know what I mean, like how vulturous they were with the women back then. Like I wouldn't apply that, but I mean, you know, you can't forget about, you know, Solomon, Abraham, Jacob, David.
That doesn't mean it was right. Solomon had many
it was right.
No,
it was written. It was written, and they had
did it doesn't mean it was right.
700 wives for a purpose.
Just what was the
for
purpose?
a purpose?
Because didn't those men turn Solomon's heart away from God?
For a purpose.
Didn't those women turn Solomon's heart away from God?
Not necessarily, yes no.
Oh my. Okay, so we're done. We can talk about another topic.
Hey, y'all. You gotta understand. It was a flip. Dude, that's more on the dude and the temptation of the dude. That's more on the dude's willpower and the dude's faith. The girl didn't do. You know what I mean? We can blame it on her.
From the beginning, it was not. I'm not blaming the women. Solomon has to be held accountable, but from the beginning, it was not so. God started Earth with one man and one woman. He started the way it's supposed to be, one man and one woman.
Hey, check this out. Holy rollers and squares. You see how I said what I said, and it was simple. Now y'all end up choosing modern women, and you'll be arguing in your house like a motherfucker.
Yo, the bell. This is what I'm talking about, and this is why I wanted to make that video. This is why I wanted to make this video, because of exactly what the bell said. When you deal with a modern woman, you're going to be arguing, and this is the type of stuff you're going to be arguing with. You went from a tangent from Cardi B, breaking down Cardi B 50-50, and Cardi B is the perfect example because she's the same thing. You're going to be arguing with her too. She might be talking about 50-50. You marry this type of chick. Now she's talking about you got to pay 100 and she don't want to do nothing. Bait and switch. But now you're dealing with a woman. This one, y'all went from 50-50 to cooking and cleaning to now the men are whoremongers to now it's in the Bible that y'all have like what are we doing here, guys? This is what you're going to get when you deal with modern women. I'm telling you, the bell hit it on the head. That's why he's called the bell. He hit it on the head. And this is why I had to make this video, because when you deal with a woman like this, it doesn't matter if she's right. You're not going to be able to listen to her. You are not going to be able to listen to her. No matter how many times she is right. If she's acting like this, you are not going to listen to this chick. And I'm trying to, and she listened to this. Hopefully this helps her out because I want more men to listen to her because she was right on a lot of points. But she was too damn loud. I couldn't stand her. I could not stand her. That's why you see me in the stream and I'm not saying a word. I was just quiet the whole time. Now I ended up getting off because I just could not stand her voice. Yo, I'm serious. Again, this is the difference between someone like her or someone like Pearly Things and why people love Pearly Things. It's crazy.
None of y'all will be on the same page. All that shit. But y'all be talking all loud and shit, getting evicted out your apartments and shit, all kind of shit. And you'll never be on the same, and you'll never be on the same page. That's why you got to choose wisely
argument are
about
two
these
different
women,
things.
man, and you got to
An
demand
argument is
100%
when you
out of your
start
woman. If you don't get 100%, you don't demand it, you ain't gonna get it.
You don't deserve 100%.
100, the
Let's
bell,
go to the
Yo,
100.
men
I
yo,
co-sign
perspective.
that.
No.
and if I may
A
say this,
discussion and an argument is two different things.
And that's what I'm talking about. Look how she's over talking. Now imagine, okay, because this also remember that man in Chicago? Remember that man in Chicago that got taken out by a single mother, a child, because he was arguing with the single mother, and he was about to harm her or whatever. This would be a perfect. This would be that's the same type of thing right there, because if you're dealing with a woman that acts like this, if she arguing with a random man, the main thing a woman should be doing, a lady should be doing, is not even first of all arguing with the man. But if she does anger with the argument, she needs to learn to walk away. Walk away. Because even that man in the story in Chicago, even that man warned her that he might do something if she doesn't be quiet. She wouldn't be quiet, and then he did what he warned her. Fortunately, the son was able to protect the mother. But if you're dealing with a woman like this, you as a man gonna have to step in and stop that guy. For a woman, that all she had to do was shut her mouth and walk away. This type of women right here that love to argue, and the bell was 100% correct. When they love to argue and they love to, they don't back down from an argument. They don't know when to call it quits and just walk away, because men have to do it with their wives because we want peace. Sometimes we have to learn to be quiet so we can get peace at the home. But those women are dangerous, and those could be the life enders. Those could be the reason why you go to the grave, fellas. Remember that.
Mr. Goodbread, have
All
I
right,
ever
y'all,
come on
peace,
your
man.
platform and
Enjoy
disrespected
your
you?
arguments, y'all.
Never.
all
It's
right,
not an
peace,
argument.
Beezy.
You need to
All
go to
right,
dictionary.
5,000. Yo,
Thank
thanks
you.
for coming out. 5.
Whenever I come on your platform, I never disrespect you. Me and you have dialogue. Are we going to agree on everything? No, we're not going to agree on everything. A debate is a debate. The fact that man.
Honestly, I feel like she disrespected Goodbread by interrupting him a few times. That's disrespectful. That is disrespectful. I'm sorry. When you come on the man show, the only person who's allowed to interrupt the people is the host, which is Mr. Goodbread. Goodbread is the only one allowed to interrupt anyone on that panel. Her, on the other hand, was not allowed to do that. She interrupted many people. She would have been very disrespectful. Very.
Man don't know the difference between a debate and an argument is why he should stay off of the dating market and probably, get a vasectomy. Because the last thing
That's it.
Oh God, here we go. I know I'm stopping it. Here we go. Stopping it. The shame, insults, guilt. The shame, insult, guilt, and they need to be right. She hitting all 3 points. She hitting all 4 of them. The shame. Tommy needs to get out there and then get a vasectomy. What? That'd be if I was saying if I'm talking to her right now and I'm saying, oh, the reason why she act like this is why she should get her tubes tied and have no babies. Like what? It's what? I'm telling you. And it's funny is the bell didn't even try to really insult her like that. He just used her as an example. He just used her as an example. But now she's talking about. But now she's talking about he needs to get a vasectomy. And bro, I'm telling you, you got to watch out for these modern women, guys. They're gonna insult the wrong person, and then in public, and then that's your life.
That's it. That's it. It's over. He going now. He can't defend himself.
Wait,
That's my guy.
I
That's my
I
guy.
do I do
Way.
I do want to say this though. I do
All right,
want to
guys.
say this, right? Like we can't act okay. So do you understand that unmarried women, okay, back in the Bible times and stuff like that? Do you know that this is the reason that these men had multiple wives? This is the reason that multiple wives were a thing. Number one, it was a patriarchal society. That's number one. Number two, the women that were unmarried were typically those women were the ones that were subject for prostitution and slavery. This is why these men had so many wives.
That doesn't make it right. Just because
If it's a, if it's a
Facts, though.
if it's a
That's a
patriarchal
fact.
society, it makes it right. If it
no, it does
I know
not.
what you. I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Morally, to you, to your morals, that still doesn't make it
No,
right.
I do
you're
not believe in
you're
polygamy
being
at
subjective
all.
against the scripture.
Here's the thing. She want to use the scriptures. Look, she want to use the scriptures and all that stuff. But the world is not a moral place. We got to be practical here, guys. The world is not a moral place. Marriage, even marriage, is not a moral thing, guys. You know what I'm saying? There's lots of reasons why people get married. And I see what Zone was trying to go, and I see what Zone was trying to go for that. Because there's lots of women that would get married for protection and want get into slavery, and you know, or they needed more protection, or they needed more of a community. So there's lots of different reasons, but we don't live in a moral world. Let's get it. Let's take it real. People take each other out for so many different reasons, and get away with some of the stuff. Some of the stuff that is right today used to be wrong yesterday. Today we couldn't even speak like this back in the day. We couldn't even speak like this towards women. Now we can speak like this online. Back in the day, you couldn't sleep around as a woman. You couldn't be sleeping around, and you couldn't even be talking about it. We don't live in a moral world. We live in a practical world where you have to do what it takes to survive. You see, these modern women are sleeping with athletes, and they're doing it and having babies by them just so they can survive. They're not moral. So I get the argument of morality, but we got to live in we live in the real world, the practical world. If everybody, it'd be great if everybody lived by morals, but unfortunately, the people that live by morals are dead. The ones that live in this world are the immoral ones. The people that live in the morals are either dead or they out of here, or they live on their own. They broke away. The moral, we live in the moral world. So all this morality and stuff like that, she want to put it in there. I get it. Yeah, it's wrong. It may be wrong, but it's practical. It's the only way. That's what we have to do. So it's a mute point. But even if that is a mute point, her being loud and boisterous, nobody want to hear all that, man. Nobody want to hear all that. And honestly, I would have said it on the stream, but then she was so loud and kept interrupting. I wouldn't even got the whole thing out there. If you lived in a patriarchal society today, she would be a slave. Exactly. She would be a slave. And the only way she could be saved is if she got married to somebody. If we lived in a patriarchal society, her dad would have married her off to the boy down the street, because the other dad, they would have met each other and paid some money for it or something. That's just the way we was living in. It may not have been right, but it doesn't matter. It does not matter. We don't live in a moralistic society. There's so many messed up things. Even during the Bible times, they all weren't moral. They all were not moral in the Bible times. They did immoral stuff. They paid the consequences. It is what it is. But then she want to go into whole when the woman does not want to back down on something that's they will continue to keep fighting it and keep moving the goalposts and doing all this extra stuff. Fellas, is this the type of woman you want to live with and be with? Because the whole point of these conversations, really the whole point of this conversation, even in itself, was about working together. But every time this woman talks is about something that breaks it apart. Come on, man. Even when we're talking about, okay, the man take multiple wives, that's something where people can work together on. The man take multiple wives, y'all building a community. But she wants to fight it up and why it's wrong, and we get it. This is the type of woman you want to deal with. As you can see, I'm on the stream and I'm just quiet because I did not want to deal with this woman. I didn't want to talk to this woman. I don't like dealing with women like and loud. If you want to bring your point to me and talk to me, we're gonna talk. We have a conversation. You get your point out. I get my point out. But then when you're loud and you're boisterous and you interruptive, how can anybody talk to you and get your ideas and hear from your side and your perspective? Man, that is crazy.
scripture is what you're doing.
No, I'm not being subjective against the scriptures. It's wrong. God has one bride, and the fact that y'all are sitting here trying to make it seem like being polygamous is God's will is absolutely wrong. That is being
It's not polygamous.
But we didn't say it's God. We didn't say
Having
all that.
more
We just telling you that it's there. It's in there. We're telling you it's in that book.
No,
That's all we said.
no. He said that there was he said that there was nothing wrong with it. As if
No.
as if biblically it's okay to have more than one spouse.
Listen, having more than one wife is not necessarily polygamy, but listen, this is the Mr. Goodbread channel, so we could pull up the definition and like polygamy is an actual structure.
Listen, I don't
polygamy is an
you
actual
do, and we could just
structure.
leave it there. We can agree to disagree and leave it there because we're not going to get anywhere.
Yeah, we could. Like I said, we could.
And I don't want to waste
Well,
time.
he said it. He said it best. He said it best. Like we like, and I said it in the beginning. We think. Men and women think different, bro. We see things that, and it's just.
I don't think that it's a man and woman thing,
it's
though.
Testosterone. It's a
There are men that don't agree with having more than one spouse. So those.
Oh God, I don't even want to listen to this no more. I tell you the truth, but her voice is annoying. Her voice is annoying. Watch the rest of that. Go to Mr. Goodbread. It's the Mr. Goodbread reaction. Go watch the rest of that, and you can see the rest of my example if you want to see more of that. It again, she had the knowledge, all right, but that attitude was the worst. And man, you just cannot suffer through that. You cannot suffer through that. And unfortunately, that's the women we got to pick from, fellas. And I mean, these type of women are hard to be around. Hard to be around. So the best way is just purge them. If you want peace, if you want a peace of mind, if you don't want annoying arguments about nothing, purge them out your life, fellas. Because that right there, even when she's right, it's still annoying. It's a waste of time. And it don't mean nothing at the end of the day. There was no passing of the ideas in terms of the main topic, which was 50-50 and men and women working together.